What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a few days since the most recent patch in XDefiant. And while most of the discourse online has been directed towards the bunny hopping and sniper flinch changes, or lack thereof, depending on who you talk to in this community, there was a massive part of this patch that was directed at the netcode and hit registration. And before I dive too deep into this video today, I am very curious to hear from you. Where do you lie after this update in regards to netcode and hit registration? Do you feel it's gotten better? Do you feel it's gotten worse? Or is it more or less the same? Because for me personally, I think hit registration and netcode have made a positive stride forward. Is it perfect? No. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. But I have played more XDefiant over the last 3 or 4 days than I think I've played collectively throughout the entire game's lifecycle. And that's not because the game is infinitely better, it's more so because I've been able to find the time. But I have noticed a massive change in hit registration and consistency of the netcode over the last 3 days versus when I played earlier on in the game's lifecycle. And that's a good thing. But just because I'm personally experiencing this, it doesn't mean that you could not be experiencing the total opposite. And that's why I think it's important that we get those opinions out there. If you are somebody that feels as if the netcode is infinitely worse or noticeably bad on your end, you have to talk about it. We talk so much about transparency for the developers, and we'll get into some transparency from Mark Rubin in a second. But it is equally imperative that the community delivers a transparent report on how their experience is. Not trying to sugarcoat it, not trying to be biased about it, being honest about what they're experiencing. Because I know the netcode isn't perfect for everyone. I know that people are having problems. I know that this didn't fix everything for everyone. So it's important that we're honest and transparent with the developers to showcase exactly what the issue is. So leave a comment down below and maybe reach out to a developer. Just do it kindly. Now, speaking of developers, Mark Rubin wanted to address the netcode changes in a string of tweets. So let's talk about that. From Mark Rubin. Netcode. We made some changes in this patch. Very technical, detailed changes to help reduce the chance of getting hit registration or netcode issues. And we are seeing in our data decent improvements in the telemetry that we have. Now, it doesn't mean the problem is fixed or that you won't see this issue ever, but it should be reduced. So if you were someone who is having or seeing these issues, can you let me know how it feels today going forward? Did it improve? Did it remain the same? Or did it get worse? Unlikely. And this is where I think as a community, we need to take action. Play this game a little bit more. Test some things out. See where the netcode is at. And then deliver worthwhile criticisms and feedback to the developers so that they can continue to fine-tune things. Because it's important for the future of XDefiant that these netcode issues are ironed out as soon as possible. If this game is to succeed and to last for the long term, the netcode problems and the hit registration problems need to be minimalized as much as possible or eradicated altogether. And the only way we can do that is by having this transparent communication and relationship with the developers. This is important. As much as you want to go online and complain about getting killed around corners, and I'm not going to pretend it doesn't happen. It does. We have to be transparent about why it's happening. Is it because of possible bullet penetration? Is it because of fire damage? Or is it because of netcode? And that's where we need to explore as a community. As much as we're trying to infight right now regarding bunny hopping and sniper flinch, I think it's more important that we have a discussion regarding the netcode and hit registration with this game. Because we can go on all the livelong day regarding bunny hopping and sniper flinch and get nowhere. But if we have a real discussion about where the game is currently at with the netcode, we can make positive changes for the future. Because what I want for XDefiant is people who come into this game with Season 1, with Season 2, and beyond, to walk into a game that has a polished netcode, that delivers a consistent experience. Because guess what? XDefiant's biggest competitor right now, Call of Duty, has massive server issues, has massive consistency with hit registration issues. Nobody really talks about it. I have, and I know a few others have. But a number one issue that I have right now in Call of Duty has nothing to do with the developers and has everything to do with Activision. And for XDefiant to succeed, they need to make sure they iron out this wrinkle. We can get to the bunny hopping and the sniper flinch and other mechanics later. The focus needs to be getting the netcode and the hit registration to the most polished state it can possibly be in. Because that's how you're going to be able to create a competitive advantage over Call of Duty. Because as great as Black Ops 6 might be, it's going to 100% be held back by the paper servers that they have over at Activision. The fact that there's going to be consistent packet bursts, consistent hit registration issues, and skill-based matchmaking that throws you into the most wonky lobbies you've ever seen. The one thing I will say about XDefiant, and I have not seen it at all, there's no rubber banding in this game. At least none that I've seen. Maybe you have, and if you have, let me know. But from my personal experience, no rubber banding. I go and play Call of Duty. My experience is vastly different than what I have here in XDefiant. There is a very noticeable difference between the experience XDefiant delivers and what I've had in Call of Duty in the last 2 years. But I know it can be better. I know it can be more consistent. And that's the expectation that this community needs to continue to hold. Because if we want this game to succeed and be around, it needs to be able to deliver on this aspect more than anything else. I believe in this XDefiant team. I believe in Ubisoft to deliver it. And I honestly trust Mark Rubin. I really do. I know that I've kind of stand for him basically since day one. But I think it's important to give credit where credit's due. And Mark Rubin deserves a ton of credit. So to wrap this up in a neat little bow, how are we feeling about the netcode? Do we feel as if it's improved? Do we think that it's gotten better? Or do you think there's massive strides forward that need to be taken still? Love to hear your thoughts down below in that comment section. And honestly, guys, I'm really hoping that XDefiant continues to progress in a positive manner. There's a lot of good here. There's a lot of reasons why I want to keep playing. But that's my time for this video. I don't want to take too much longer. I want to go back and play some more XDefiant. So I thank you all for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, can you please hit that like button? If you want to see more videos from me, please hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.